Is live. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Adventure on So Many Levels. We're going to play some Dungeons and Dragons.
Right, we are.
Dungeons and Drama.
Yes, indeed. I think we probably had a total of maybe 5 die rolls the whole of last session.
Sounds about right.
Something like that.
Yeah.
2 of them were mine.
You could roll one right now if you want.
Yes, you
10.
do. Yeah. Oh, well, yeah, everyone roll a d20.
Ooh.
All right, 5.
13.
That's
16.
not good. Oh,
16.
boy.
Wait a minute. What? Did
Oh,
you say
man.
16? Oh, no.
Yeah. Oh, you guys, that's bad. No. I was rooting for you, but
All right, good night, everybody.
Good night,
See you next
everybody.
week on So Many Levels.
Well, at least we got our 4 rolls all down there.
I'm Christiana Ellis, and I'm the Dungeon Master. Tonight, our players, Starla Hutchton as Nirakina Ethu,
Greetings and salutations.
Jenny Meltzer as Cadence of the Water,
Hello.
James Meltzer as Ket of the Sands,
Apparently, we're live from New York tonight.
oh, and Mark Kilfoyle as Alaric Copperbeard.
I heard there was something about a party. I don't know if I'm ready for a party.
We are down 1 Vivid Muse as Amethyst, and we are hoping that Chooch Schubert as Otterkey will join us a bit later. But for now, let's talk a little bit about what happened last time. There was a lot of talking, and then some more talking, and then I gave a rock a silly name because it infected my brain, and so I named him Granite Bob instead of the better name that I actually had written in my notes. But he's Granite Bob now, so
The Granite Bob, I don't care what the name was in your notes. Granite Bob is the better name.
fair. I guess.
Yeah, Just don't take it for granted.
Yeah,
That's right.
exactly. I feel like that joke kind of got undersold last time when I said it. I think I was a little bit too subtle with it. But anyway, last time we picked up just right after Alaric had confessed his love to Nira, and she had walked away without a word. But we had a lot of discussions between various characters, all going through, their own pieces of this drama, and a lot of character building and depth and discussion, and it's really wonderful stuff, but it's not easy to just recap in a quick synopsis. So it won't. If you want to know what those conversations were, you can listen to last time. But there were a couple of things that happened. One is that you learned a little bit, you met a little bit more of Denobrium, who seems to be cycling through the seasons, complete with changes in attitude and color scheme, as this Eladrin servant of the Fey Queen who waits on you and has informed you that you are all invited to the Queen's Gala when you are ready. There's not a hurry per se, but it does get brought up a lot, which you guys can interpret as you will. There was some brief discussion in a dream with the Fey Queen, who also mentioned the Gala. And there was some conversations with Granite Bob, the aforementioned. And Alaric almost got his boots stolen by a strange horned woman who gave him some sort of a prophecy or something. It's poetic words from a hag-like woman. You interpret that as you will. But as we concluded the last session, we had Amethyst and Alaric returning to the magnificent mansion, which had been cast within the separate little vacation resort that the Fey Queen had set you up in here in the Feywild. And everyone else was inside, and we will resume as Alaric and Amethyst re-enter the magnificent mansion, rejoining the rest.
I'm not eating this whipped cream. I don't care what you say.
What's wrong with the whipped cream, man? It's so good and tasty.
Have you eaten some?
No.
Okay.
Then how do you know?
Because, man, it's cream and it's whipped. What could be wrong with whipped cream?
Okay, look.
Come on, man, we're cats.
Okay, listen. And I turn around and make sure that the door is shut.
Hmm.
I was talking to Nira, and she said that maybe we should be careful eating their food. You know the stories?
Yeah, man, I know.
Yeah. So you need to, just, I don't know.
Okay, but I'm just trying to get Alaric to eat some.
Why?
Because, man, it's funny. Haha.
Do you want him to get trapped here forever?
He's gonna get trapped here forever, whether I want him to or not, because it's Alaric.
So as they are arguing, I am going to pick up the bowl of whipped cream and take it to the kitchen
All right.
and dump it down the sink.
All right. So I think as you return to the common room from the kitchen, that's when the door opens and it's Amethyst and Alaric.
Oh, hey, guys, how's it going? I got pancakes, gingerbread pancakes. I made them myself. Okay, the servants made them, but they're good.
Pancakes sound fine.
All right, yeah, that's the attitude. Come on, man, let's eat some food. Everyone feels better on a full stomach, right?
Just a little bit, not a lot.
Okay, yeah, man. You do what you do, you man.
No chicken.
No chicken this morning. No chicken, just pancakes. I quickly whisper to one of the servants, "Get the chicken off the table."
Sit down, just sort of look around the table awkwardly.
I think Amethyst stands there briefly, taking in all of the awkward emotional tension, and then says, "I'll be in the garden." And she conjures a little flock of almirages, which are the unicorn-like bunnies that Arwen is, and they accompany her out of the room.
That is kind of how I picture her most of the time, just sort of floating on a flock of animals.
She's a walking Disney movie.
Going to focus very intently on cutting my pancakes into the smallest bites possible.
I think we can manage 3 hours of awkward sitting silently across the table.
So did everybody sleep good?
Where were you, Alaric?
No, I didn't sleep well. Someone tried to steal my boots.
In the mansion?
No. Outside.
Why do you sleep outside, man? We got a perfectly good mansion here with beds and stuff.
I thought maybe I should give some space.
Look,
Oh, you were standing guard. I get it. Okay, yeah, I get it.
I mean, no, but no.
I'm sorry that I yelled at you, Alaric.
Yeah, it's all right. I probably deserved it. But yeah, there was some strange woman tried to steal my boots. I don't really. I mean, it kind of felt a little like a dream, but.
Oh, speaking of dreams, and did I tell them about the dream?
No.
Okay, well, I tell you guys about the dream that Amethyst and I shared.
Mm-hmm.
Could you please do that?
Yeah, I do that. Through the DM, I do that.
Okay, well. So now you're putting me on the spot to remember exactly what came up in that conversation.
You should have an instant replay button where you just play that back at this point.
How about this? You guys make a history check.
That's
Tell
right.
me how much you remember. Because dreams are hard to remember.
Oh, man.
Let's pop.
Oh, Cadence would
Look,
know.
more rolls. It's amazing.
18. I rolled an 18.
Okay, well, so the gist of the dream, essentially, the important bits, and I imagine I don't know how forthright Ket is about choosing to fawn all over her.
Ket's going to tell them everything except the part where she said that She said something about he can like communicate with her anytime he wants, kind of
Okay,
thing.
yeah.
Yeah, he's gonna tell them everything but that.
All right. Yeah, so the basic gist of it is that she reiterated that you guys are, free to rest up. She wants you at your best because she does have a task for you and she wants to ensure the highest likelihood that you are successful. And so she is sincerely interested in you guys resting up and getting, ready to go. And that once you have done that, she wants you to retrieve for her the Codex Panoptica.
And at that, Nira kind of sits up and like slaps Kate and is like, "Told you."
Yeah, you did call that one.
What is that anyway?
That book that was in the dragon's lair. Remember?
Yeah, but do we know
what's so
what it
important about
is?
the book?
We learn something about it? We had asked what's her face about it, and she told us.
Kind of knows
Yeah.
everything.
Well, it lets you see anything.
Hmm.
What do you mean everything?
Everything.
Everything.
I mean, are we talking
Like I think
past or
the shorthand oversimplification would be like it's a perfect scrying machine.
Oh, okay.
that's a weird thing.
Yeah.
What would she need that for? Doesn't she also already have the ability to see just about anything? Aren't
Maybe
they all
not.
spying on us?
Maybe not.
Maybe
Yeah.
not.
I mean,
Yeah.
knowledge is power, right?
I guess.
I mean, we were not planning on even going back there until after all of this was said and done, but now we have to go back there now?
But do we?
If we want to go back and get the book for her.
But do we have to do that now?
Yes, she wants it done now.
Well, first we got to go to a party.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Because you all look like you're in such a party mood.
Oh, I wrote it down. I'll throw a bunch of stones on the table. I don't exactly remember which order they're supposed to be in. I think it's something like that. Dwarven runes carved on top of loose stones.
If I can speak Dwarven, does that mean I can read it as well?
Yeah, I think so.
I'm gonna kind of poke at them.
Well,
and
how
shuffle them
close
around.
to the correct order do you think they actually are?
I mean, I have the correct order in front of me, but I figure he's been distracted.
Well,
so
sure.
I'm
just trying to say that, like, if the stones are not in the right order and she's reading them, she will be reading them in the wrong order.
True.
So
I just threw them down so in a random order until I rearranged them anyway. So
okay, so let's.
you do see on every single one of the stones the dwarven numeral for 3 is written down.
Yeah. So between all of them, you see it say 3 breaths, 3 eyes, 3 days, 3 deaths, and then. So here's another just quick meta question for you. When you related this message to Amethyst last time, you said it a little differently than I said it, and I want to just double check whether that was deliberate and you had it actually right, or whether you were actually trying to say it the same way I did and just got it wrong.
I changed it up.
Okay.
Again, kind of in the moment of things.
Okay, yeah, that's fine. So it's so I guess the point is it written correctly, or is it written the way you told Amethyst?
It is written correctly.
Okay.
I made a quick int roll at the time, actually, and no problem. But
okay, yeah.
So he would kind of see her looking at the stones, and then basically, no, this one's first, and then this other one, and then kind of see that she probably already understands it, because I think he remembers that she understands Dwarven, and kind of back off the other side of the table.
Yeah. So once everything is in the right order, what it says is 3 days, 3 deaths, 3 eyes, 3 breaths. Tea with honey from the 3 queens does wonder for lost songs. And then she said, tell your friends, but I don't know if you wrote that down as part of
I didn't write that part down. I figure it's probably not something I made up. I mean, if it was a dream, I don't know why the hell I would talk about tea. I don't know what it means. I figure anything here probably has some sort of meaning. Hell, Granite Bob is one of the best conversationalists I've met among rocks.
I don't think any of the rest of you know who that is.
Who's Granite Bob?
He's rock. Talks very well.
I see.
There's a talking rock here?
Yeah, his kids don't say as much, but I think I may have. Well, and I'll actually pull the one piece that I took with me and put it on the table. I felt I needed to carve some things. I didn't know they were his kids at the time. He didn't seem bothered, but
Wait. There's a talking rock and you cut up his kids. Is that what you're telling me?
no. Well, no. Yes, but not.
Oh,
It's stones are meant to be carved. They're meant to have what's in them shown, and it takes a skilled carver. I'm not that skilled.
So is that a baby rock?
Something like that. He snatches it, puts it back in his pocket. For anybody to have a closer look. Although people might have recognized it, I don't know.
yeah. I'm pretty observant.
It's a vague elven look.
Clearly a carved figurine of a humanoid shape, at least, would be obvious, I would think.
Yeah. Tall, slender, imposing, maybe, I don't know. It's not that good.
Mm-hmm.
That's not important. I mean, it was important. Of course it's
Yeah.
important, but that's not my point.
So this woman tried to steal your boots and told you to drink tea with the queen.
Sorta. I mean, I don't know about 3 queens. I mean, I guess I assumed she might have been talking about the Fey queens, but I thought there were only 2.
The lost songs, that could only refer to really one of us. Kind of look at Kat.
Yeah, I mean, that makes sense.
But why would she say that? I don't get it. Why wouldn't she say that to Cat and try to steal his boots?
Kat doesn't wear boots.
Okay, well,
That's true, and I hold up my toe beans.
fine, but why did you get a dream of the queen then, and I get a dream of someone trying to steal my boots? Is it me? Do I just evoke white people wanting to steal my boots?
I don't
Nice
know.
boots, but
I mean, they are nice boots, but I think at this point we kind of know that the queen kind of isn't very forthcoming when everything she says. She kind of talks around situations, so maybe, I don't know.
and she said it was safe here, and someone tried to steal my boots. How do I believe her now?
Well, I mean, you didn't get harmed. She just wanted to steal your boots. That doesn't mean you're not safe.
And I would point out you weren't here, you were out there.
Yeah, I had to. I needed some space.
Maybe you didn't let the entire course of action run through. Maybe if you had to let her stole your boots and followed her, she would have led you somewhere important.
Yeah, but didn't we just tell him to stop going places without telling us?
Yeah, that's
Anyway.
true. That's true.
I like my boots.
Anyway, boots. How are them pancakes, Nero?
They're fine, thank you.
You're welcome.
Did she eat any?
Who? Alaric?
No, Nira, did she eat any?
Oh,
Or she's still just like cutting them up really thin.
a few bites, not much, but it's mostly just
You're going to need to get a razor blade to cut them any finer.
confetti of pancakes.
You know I have a blender.
Pancake smoothies
Blender.
for everybody.
Oh.
So, I guess we have to go back and fight the dragon then. I mean, not right now.
Party.
but-
What are we gonna do about this party, man? I mean, I can make us look nice.
I suppose we have to go.
Are they going to send us fancy clothes?
That's a good question. You got a lot of good questions. I don't know. I mean, I can make us look nice with a spell. I mean, I don't have anything here in the mansion that we can wear because anything we take out of the mansion disappears.
No offense, Cat, but if I'm gonna look nice, I'd kind of like to do it on my own. Not on my own, but I mean,
No, I get it. I get it.
I've been carrying that axe around for a long time, and I'm afraid that people think that's me, and it's not really. It's all from it. I'm just me.
How different does Alaric look without the axe?
Well, you want to take that one, Alaric?
Sure. Yeah. He's not wearing armor. He's got a simple shirt that was probably white, but through many months of wear has just sort of been torn and twisted. His beard is somewhat unkempt. It doesn't have that full, luscious look that it did just a little while ago. Same with his hair, which is sort of tied up simply in the back. And there's nothing of that sort of sheen of royalty that has been on him for quite some time now. I am as I am. And for a little while, I'd like to be me.
I don't know, you look the same to me.
It looks a little rough around the edges, but I kind of like it like that.
I don't know, I think he looks the same.
I think you look awesome, Alaric.
Thanks. But I know that I'm not much.
Hey, don't sell yourself short, buddy. You're pretty awesome, isn't he, Nera?
Looks like
I just elbow Cat really hard.
Oh,
in the ribs.
The stuff. Oh yeah, I forgot. Oh. Oh.
So Hero's I'm gonna stand up and push back from the table and say, I think I need to find something to wear for tonight. If you'll excuse me, thank you for the pancakes.
You're welcome.
And I'm going to leave, walk out of the Magic Mansion.
All right.
Okay.
You find as you just peer through the doorway, you don't see anyone. As soon as you kind of step out, though, and start to make kind of a move in any direction, you find that you are suddenly in the presence of Denobrium, once again in the youthful green and brown appearance, who's apparently standing behind where the magic doorway was. So you didn't see him through until you came out, but then just pops up and just says, greetings, my lady. Can I get you anything?
I was told there's a gala tonight.
Yes. Are you and your companions properly rested?
Oh, well, I'm as rested as I'm going to be.
Well then, we have many preparations that we can make for you at your discretion, of course, but we have to offer you any means of, let me just say it right out. We have an incredible designer prepared to outfit you all with splendid gala attire. If you are so inclined, if you have your own, of course, that will be suitable. But should you be in need of a new outfit, we can certainly provide.
You know what? When in the Feywild, right?
Indeed.
Lead on. I'm in.
Are the rest of your companions in need also?
Well, what I think they need is maybe not the same as what they think they need, but I can't speak for them.
Well, the only reason I hesitate at all right now is just that the designer in question is very popular. His time is in high demand. And if we were to be in need of outfitting the entire party, it would be polite to have everyone go together rather than piecemeal one at a time. Do you follow me?
I understand. One moment. Go back in the magic mansion, and I'm going to like I see they're still in the dining room, but I know Amethyst. I don't know where Archie is, but
Well, I mean, we can say you find them
all
as
right.
needed.
So I will just pass words like, you guys, if you want a fancy dress or whatever for tonight, robes, what have you, we got to go now.
I think Amethyst probably just says, "Nah, I'm good."
I'm going.
Alaric stands up immediately. All right, let's go.
Oh, you're muted, James.
I'm good.
Good to go or not?
No, I'm good. I have fancy clothes. I'm good.
Okay, all right.
Archie!
I think Archie would go.
Come on, Archie.
Yeah. Hopefully, we'll have Chooch along soon.
All right.
But yeah.
I'm coming.
All right. So those of you who are joining this little errand, come out of the mansion and find Denobrium standing there, just very expectantly, and just says, "So the four of you then?
Mm-hmm.
You look different.
Yeah, you do.
You look different.
Do I?
You're not nearly as emo as the last time I saw you.
Well, I do tend to get a little moody around that time of year.
Year? How long have we been here?
What an odd question.
Is it?
Yes?
Time doesn't matter for us, Alaric, remember?
I knew that was the case in the other place, but I didn't think it was the same here. There's still sunrise and sunset and sleep.
Oh, of course. Mm.
There is, isn't there?
Well, I beg your pardon, sir. I'm afraid I thought you were making a joke. No, there is no sunrise or sunset as you would know them. It is not a matter of time here. We do not have the sun traveling across the sky. It's instead you travel beneath the sky, if you follow me. And speaking of following me, perhaps we can have this conversation on the way.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm starting to understand why Granite Bob had such a bad sense of time.
As you kind of, head, Denobrium actually leads you to what would seem to be the proper front door of this strange little plant-grown mansion, and there is a lovely paved, like very fine gravel road leading out from it, and leads off into the distance. And you realize that where you are now, the level of light is just exactly as it has been the times that you've been out here before, and you realize you've really not seen it get any lighter or darker. But as you look off into the horizon there, you see it look almost like at the edge of the horizon it's darker than it is where you are. It's a bit like if there were storm clouds darkening the horizon, but it really looks more like it's just night over there, but not here. But that's way off in the distance.
I guess I was just missing it. Sleep, that is.
That could be. I know that many mortals do spend quite a lot of time doing that, don't you?
A third of our lives, really. Most of us, anyway.
My goodness, I'm so sorry.
It's not so bad
Well,
most of the time.
I would not presume to tell mortals how to live. That is what they do, after all. Ha ha! So, shall we go? And he, is basically sets off down this gravel path. So as you are just following along, it's a very pleasant. The weather is very, it's not overly warm, but there's kind of a nice cool breeze. It's very nice and just lush, sort of pastoral landscapes around you. And um, as you're traveling, he kind of just turns back over his shoulder and just says, you'll have to forgive me. I believe I've already forgotten what it was that you wanted to ask me about while we were traveling."
This player wants the rewind button.
"Well then, I suppose if you think of it later, then we will discuss it at that time." And you watch, and you're heading in the direction you can see. There's a thick forest off in the distance, but your eyes are kind of playing tricks on you because it feels a little bit like you can see that it looks very far away. And then you're kind of looking around, you're looking at, oh, look, there's a cloud. And then you look up again, and the forest seems way closer than it should be based on the small amount of time that you just walked. Uh, you're realizing that your general sense of distance and passage of time here may be distorted compared to how you normally experience them. But it is clear that Denobrium is leading you to this forest, and as he does so, his coloration is becoming less green and brown and starting to become more like uh, yellow and gold colored. It's gradual, but you can notice it happening as you go.
Do you feel all right, Denobrium? You seem to be strange.
What's that supposed to mean?
I just noticed that you changed the color. You look different.
Well, yeah, so?
So nothing. I just thought, I didn't know if is that supposed to happen?
Well, supposed to is kind of like, are you supposed to breathe?
Well, usually.
Who says?
Well, I mean, I don't know.
Well, there you have it. All right, come on.
So, why don't you tell me a little bit about this designer as we go?
Oh, well. You four are going to be all the rage at the gala. This guy has a waiting list. Oh, you can't even get on it without being a somebody. But you guys, obviously, you're the guests of the queen. You can get whatever you want. So it's kind of a privilege. I know you would have no way to know, but just it's a big deal, to treat him with respect.
What's the cost of this privilege?
Oh, well, I mean, the queen is covering you, of course.
Huh.
We already know the price of that.
Yeah, I suppose.
He's definitely the sort of designer that, like, if you have to get into the nitty gritty of how much it costs, you probably ought to be going somewhere else anyway.
I mean, yeah, I guess. I don't know these things. I don't have any expensive shirts.
Well, honestly, what it really comes down to most of the time is that he's got to want to work for you. But the queen, making clothes for the guests of the queen to appear at the royal gala, like, no problem. And then you realize, looking around, that you are deep within a dense old growth forest. And you realize that he leads you just around the corner of a tree, and as you pass like the corner of a tree, around a tree, a big thick tree, and as you come around it, you realize that around that side of the tree is a completely different area than what you had seen before. It almost like it was some kind of an illusion, and you have just turned a corner into a new room, even though all you did was go around one side of a tree. But what you see is, imagine a fancy, dress shop where you would be fitted for an elaborate ball gown. And imagine you take all of those sort of trappings and furniture and just put them in a Hollywood set of a forest clearing. That's what this place looks like. And you see, standing in the middle of this clearing is a large deer with enormous like antlers, like a buck. And sitting on the tip of one of the antlers, like not like on the point, but like near the end, is a little pixie.
I think Amethyst is going to be sorry she missed this.
And Denobrium says, "Well, I'll leave you to it. Don't embarrass me." And he ducks away.
Should one of us talk to it? I don't know how to do this. You,
Even get his name.
the one sitting on the deer, or am I supposed to be talking to the deer? I don't even know.
We're here to get outfitted for the gala.
Yeah.
The pixie sort of alights, takes to the air, because the deer does sort of an elaborate bow, like lowering its head down and sort of backing up and going down into a lowered position. And the pixie just says, "Ah, he is delighted to meet you, and of course he knows all about what you need. So, who would like to go first?"
It was the deer.
I will step forward and I will bow in return. Say it is an honor to make your acquaintance.
The deer does not look you in the eye. It just sort of snorts in a way that, interpret that as you will. It doesn't seem like an especially rude snort. It's kind of just like an animal. But the pixie just says, "So, obviously, you, with your elfin proportions and everything, obviously we could outfit you in fashion very much like the local Eladrin fashions. But if you have any sort of requests, we can, of course, accommodate those as well."
Can I run under the assumption that they probably speak Sylvan?
You could try. You know that in theory, Sylvan is like the language of the Feywild, but the pixie has addressed you in common.
Right. Okay, I'm gonna give it a shot. So in Sylvan, I will. I guess I'm addressing the deer.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say, whatever you think is best, of course. But if you could include perhaps a small nod towards the Earth Genasi, I would be very grateful.
The deer sort of flips its ears at you, just like, and the pixie just says, "That's an interesting request. I wouldn't have guessed it, but of course. So, stand still, please, for a moment. Arms out. Got to take your measurements." And at this point, the deer sort of looks at you kind of warily, sort of trots around, walking in a circle around you, sort of leans its head down, and you realize like it's measuring you with its antlers.
This is So great.
And then it moves towards like your right hand, and it's looking very intently like at your hand, and just like getting very close. Like it's not sniffing like it's smelling, but it's getting to the point where it's about to bump your hand with its nose. And then just before it touches, it backs away and says, nods. And then it trots around another tree and does not come out from the other side.
All right.
I just kind of like walk up to Nira and I'm just kind of quiet. I'm like, you really got to stop doing that.
I think it was for the best this way.
I know, but you really got to stop doing that.
Do you also
I never
speak
get to.
Sylvan cadence, or were you
No,
okay?
I'm just noting that, you know, she keeps doing all this in front of us, like speaking in a language that she thinks none of us speak.
Well, it's mostly because of Alaric.
I know.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to
I,
hurt his
as a
feelings. Come
player,
on.
know why you do it. But as Cadence, I'm like, after we just had that conversation, like, you really got to
I
stop.
never get to, though. I mean, how often are we going to be in the Feywild?
I know. I'm just saying, though.
I mean, I took it as an elective in school, and I thought it was fun, but I never get to use it.
Yeah, I took Orcish as an elective, but you don't see me walking around talking like an orc all the time. Come on.
Yes, but if you could.
The two of you here are just a little tiny. And you look up, and the pixie does not look like she's being judgmental or anything. It was just sort of like a member of the service industry reminding you that she is still here, and just she didn't want you to like be embarrassed that you said anything weird in front of the help or anything, but she's just reminding you that she is present.
I just turned to her in Orcish, and I'm all like, I got it. I heard you.
In Orcish?
Yep.
What does that even sound like?
The pixie's tiny eyes go wide and just like, oh my goodness.
So Alaric turns to Otterkey. So, what do you think they're talking about? No, wait. I don't want to know. Maybe it's just between them, and I shouldn't pry, but I'm kind of curious. I mean, you don't know. No, wait. No, never mind. I don't want you to hear. I don't want you to say it. I'm just kind of nervous because, I mean, everything I've had to wear for such a long time has just been because it's practical. You don't happen to know of any good ideas for design? No, never mind. I'll figure it out myself. I mean, I know you're going to work on my armor later on. No, don't say it. I know you haven't gotten to it yet, but I know you will when you get a chance. It's just it's been a lot on your mind lately. And, I mean, this place is kind of strange, and it kind of confuses a lot. And don't you think? I mean, no. I mean, you're not confused. I'm confused. It's just I'm not really sure. I don't know what I'm doing anymore. But I think that might be a good thing.
He kind of shrugs like, all right.
Nice chat, Otterkey. It helped me figure a few things out.
So it's not very long after that the deer returns from around the tree with like a coat hanger hanging from one of its antlers. And so what I'm going to say is that the dress is gorgeous and exactly what you asked for, but I'm going to have you describe what that actually means.
No.
Are you going to make me be a fashion designer? No.
Well, I mean, I'm more concerned with what the little detail would be that they would have included about, like, because I don't, as a person,
so
know all
what
that
I
much
want to
about the
say
Ashkenazi,
is,
so.
magically, as far as you know, they have managed to do exactly what you were thinking. That's that. So whatever that means.
Okay. So I suppose what I am picturing is to remember in Onyx's throne room how it was like coated with the diamonds. Not saying that's what I'm doing here, but there's like a intricate sort of line of embroidery that goes through it that conjures the feel of um, like amethysts and emeralds and precious gemstones um, through this dress. And I'm picturing sort of like a Greek Roman style, perhaps, with a like a high empire waist, kind of drapey shoulders. Like I mean, I could really go into detail with this dress if you really want me to. Like a free flowing skirt, nothing like poofy, but maybe a little bit of a train.
Sure.
So
I have a question. What color is it?
Probably, let's see. We'll go with a really pale gray with the line of the embroidery in silver, with the dotted jewel pattern, like kind of running along it. There. It's the best I can do off the top of my head.
All right. So the deer kind of offers the antler with the hanger for it, and the pixie just says, "If you would like to try it on now, you can certainly do so. I can show you to a private spot, but I can assure you that it will fit perfectly."
Oh, I believe that it will. So I'll wait. I trust you completely.
And the deer turns away from you and flicks its tail. And it kind of wanders over towards Cadence, and the pixie flutters over too, and kind of makes a move like gonna land on your shoulder, making sure you're cool with that, like a little tentative.
I'm cool with it.
All right. And
In Orcish.
So it's a little bit of a weird perspective to talk to this 6-inch tall humanoid on your shoulder, but she kind of stands there and just says, "So, what are you thinking?"
I'm thinking of the tree.
You're gonna have to be more specific.
I'm thinking of the tree that I spent my whole life climbing and going to other places, travel, seeing the different planes of existence.
So, you're looking for like classic ball gown type of thing with that sort of a theme? Is that what you're thinking?
Yeah.
All right. So, go ahead and assume the position, just like your friend did.
I do it.
And she flutters up and away, and the deer, kind of it doesn't look directly at you, but kind of comes up alongside you and starts just pawing at the ground, and like it's like kicking up a cloud of dust, and it's just go and then it leans over and it blows through the dust, and the dust does not behave like a normal dust cloud would. Instead, it just swirls up to envelop you and just like coat you with dust. And then the pixie just says, "Now 1 step back, please."
And I take a step back.
The dust stays where it is in a perfect outline of where you were.
Nice.
And then the deer just walks right through it and goes back out around the tree, disappearing once again.
This is so cool. I say that in Orcish to Nira.
Do you understand Orcish, Nira?
I do not.
And then I try Celestial to see if she understands that.
No, but I can answer her in Goblin. Cause you think you're funny, huh?
Then I answer that in deep speech.
Well, what do you think? I say to them all in poem, like I know at least two of them will speak.
So the pixie just kind of says, "So, first time in the Feywild?"
It is for me.
I don't know.
Well, so I mean that this is kind of like a brief meta question. I mean, you can decide if you think Cadence had been to the Feywild before.
I think she would have.
It's certainly, I think,
Yeah.
one of the places that you go if you can go anywhere.
Yeah. I think she would have gone to the Feywild before.
But of course, the Feywild's a big place. There's all sorts of different regions and so on within it. Yeah.
I've been here before, but just not like, here, like in this area.
Well, I wager to say not a lot of people get to visit the Feywild as the personal guests of the Queen.
No, we're very fortunate.
No, it's certainly a very important thing, and I'm sure your guide who brought you here, the Eladrin from before, I'm sure he told you, but usually we have a long time. People have to wait a long time to get fitted by, our little operation here.
Yeah, but what's a long time here? I thought there was no time.
She kind of cocks her head at you and just says, "What an odd question."
People keep telling me that.
Do you ask a lot of odd questions?
Apparently
He
so.
does.
Well, there you go. And at this point, the deer comes back around with this time, it's again the hanger on one of the antlers, and once again, it's basically like it's like a fashion designer read your mind and then made an awesome dress out of exactly what you were thinking.
I have a feeling that, like, if I pirouetted, it would be sort of like that dress that she had in that movie. What the heck, in the books, when she like spun and it was fire, the girl on fire dress.
Oh yeah,
but with,
yeah.
with like the changing
Hunger
seasons.
Games.
Yeah, that one. But like leaves on a tree, like seasonally changing.
I was just briefly thinking about like an open back design that would have some cool stuff, but I realized that like all the fur makes an open back a little bit weirder.
Yeah.
As his tail.
There's a hole in the back that my tail sticks out.
I would think that would be a fashion question for races with tails. Is like, do you want the tail to stick out of the dress or no?
Yes, absolutely.
I would think that Tabaxi in particular, cat-like tails wouldn't want it to be like constricted or obstructed. It gotta twitch around, right?
Yeah. Well, you kind of need it too for balance. I mean, that's part of the cat thing.
Yeah. So in any event, it's a lovely dress.
Thank you.
And then the pixie starts to say, "Okay, well, who's next?" But then the deer just basically stomps its way right up to you, Alaric, and starts just sniffing your beard intently. Just.
I mean, I don't really know what maybe Otterkey should go next. Him, maybe.
The pixie is just kind of like, well, I don't think so.
All right. Maybe we could walk over there, and I'll tell you what I'm thinking. But I mean, I don't really know much about clothes and stuff. There's one time I wish Ket were here. Damn it.
The deer has continued through all of that, sniffing at your beard, and then suddenly just, we briefly got our hangout recycled. There we go. Sniffing all over at your beard, and then as you kind of finish with that, it stops and kind of looks up at you and just, like snorts out like animals do when they finish smelling something, but just like right in your face. Yeah,
I look at the pixie. What is that supposed to mean?
Well, what do you think it means? I mean, I don't want to speak for him.
I thought you were. I mean, I don't know how to. Now I want Amethyst here. She's the one that speaks to animals.
Well, you said you wanted to step aside somewhere, so you
Yeah,
can
yeah.
do that.
All right. Well, I start walking and see if the deer follows me.
It doesn't. It just starts sniffing the ground where you were, but the pixie does.
All right. Well, maybe you can tell. I don't even. What's the deer's name even?
Well, here's where that's complicated.
Is that another weird question?
No, it's just a pronunciation question. So here's the question. Do you feel like you want to give it a try? Because most people can't do it. So we could give him a nickname that you can call him, and that would be fine. That's what most of our clients do.
No, I kind of glance over at Nirkina. I want to try it. I want to speak it proper.
Okay. All right, if you're sure. His name is...
Okay. So nickname, you say? That yeah. I don't want to say, "Hey dear."
Well,
What the hell's?
that's kind of sound.
It's nice to meet
I
you.
I think the nickname's probably the way to go. You can just call him the Fitter.
The fitter.
Yeah.
All right.
Don't worry about it. It's what most of our clients do. He likes it.
All right.
It's respectful.
As long as it's respectful, I don't mind.
Yeah.
So
So what were you thinking?
I don't know much about how clothes work, but I've got a few ideas that maybe the fitter could translate.
Mm-hmm. Well, so the way he was coming right at you like that makes me think that you have recently had a fashion crisis.
Well, I guess you could say that. Yeah.
He can tell every time.
I mean,
So-
it just didn't feel like it was me, and I didn't want to
Oh, yeah.
pretend like I wasn't me, because if I'm not me, then anything that's directed at me is not for me, and I want to make sure that anything that might come my way is for me.
Oh, yeah, of course. I mean, she's nodding in sincere understanding, like this all makes perfect sense to her.
Good. Yeah. So I'm not really much for the very fancy things, but I've got some ideas about color that I'd like to try.
All right.
I was thinking blue and a light gray, the kind of gray you find in a storm cloud, maybe, or a warm fog, and blue like the like the sky that peers through. And it's always there. Skies aren't really my thing most of the time, but I find myself wanting to see them more.
Yeah. She nods, taking that in sort of very like not I don't want to say soberly, like, because that conveys like seriousness, but it's more it's not like solemn or stern at all, but it's more like, yes, I understand, but we're here to help you. That sort of a demeanor.
So, sort of understated, but at the same time, real nice looking, you know?
Well, of course.
Someone you could respect, and but not someone you would, I don't know.
The most important question is, how do you want it to make you feel?
How do I want to make it? How do I want it to make me feel? Worthy. Yeah,
There
that's
you
what I
go.
want.
All right then. And as you look around, you realize that you don't see the deer, but as you're looking, it is already coming back around the tree with an outfit on its antler.
That was fast. Was I? Did I give enough? Did you know what I wanted?
Well, so as before, this outfit is exactly what you were envisioning, and the pixie kind of gives a tiny little wink at you and just kind of says, "The fitter smelled all of that on you."
Oh, you mean I didn't need all those awkward words?
Well,
Yeah.
it's best if you yourself can bring yourself to say it out loud.
Yeah, it's not the first person that's given me that advice recently, and I'm still not entirely sure that it was for the better.
Sometimes people don't actually know what they want until they say it out loud.
Or sometimes people know it for a long time.
So in any event, what does this outfit look like? Is it basically just what you described? Is it like a suit, like a tuxedo, or?
I've been struggling to try to actually picture it because Mark's vocabulary of clothing is much more diminished than Alaric's is even. But I was thinking it has a sort of a fading blue to gray. Again, kind of as though the sky was poking through. At the bottom, it's also deeper gray, almost to a granite, and there's a sheen to the fabric as though there are small specks of other small precious stones. If it truly is as he had envisioned it, the two key colors, despite all of the other fadings and things that are there, are remarkably close to Nirakina's skin color and her eye color, which are blue and gray, if I recall correctly. Although, sorry, the eyes have changed to silver, haven't they? So.
Well, it's not. They're not entirely silver. You just see the little bit of a spark of electricity in them.
Right. That would be that there is a silver necklace, which has this just sort of peaks around the edges of the clothing.
Nice. So, just in terms of the description of the outfit, you don't have to necessarily know what it's called, but I guess what I'm just thinking about is like, is this the sort of fancy dress? Like, what time period are you sort of envisioning?
Yeah. I should know better because I've actually started researching this, but I don't know all the words yet.
Yeah.
I'm thinking, kind of medieval-like clothing.
Okay.
It's a light jacket over a tunic of fine quality cloth. The pants are they're actually pants, not breeches or hose or anything like that. And they, in particular, probably the jacket is designed in such a way where it shows off the strength of his shoulders because he is particularly strong.
Yeah, what I'm actually okay. Starla's going to know. Starla is definitely going to know what I mean, and I think a lot of other people will too. What I'm envisioning is the outfits in the fancy party at Dragon Age Inquisition that are vaguely military themed, but those are like red jackets. But otherwise, the style is kind of what I'm thinking. Like maybe a sash.
I was thinking something like the High Keeper robes from Inquisition. Something that style would be kind of cool too.
So now people can Google stuff if they want.
What do you think I'm doing right now?
So in any event, the pixie does lean in and just says, like, you could probably wear your current boots with this if you want. Those are pretty nice. I wouldn't leave them outside if I were you.
Yeah, that seems like a good idea. I'll also I've got a cloak that'll go with this too.
Okay. So at this point, the deer has marched off to look at Otterkey, and Otterkey kind of looks back at it, and it looks at him, and he looks back at it, and then it charges him and just like headbutts him and just like knocks him on his butt.
What was that for?
And the pixie just kind of looks at you and just says, Look, I know the fitter doesn't always, like, he has his methods. So just trust him. And Otterkey is just like, whoa, what's happening? Do I, and he's like, he's like going for his sword or something, but the deer is already like stomping away.
It's probably your horn, Jaraki. It's probably a thing about horns.
So I think briefly, just in a meta sense, we're going to wait for Chooch to describe what the fancy outfit actually looks like. But suffice to say that it's going to be similar to the rest of you in the sense that whatever he's asking for, he essentially gets a extremely well-made version of whatever he kind of has in mind. So we'll let Chooch decide what that is at that point. But so in the meantime, though, now all outfitted, you guys are hanging out there. But let's check back in with Ket, who's hanging out back at the mansion.
Back at the mansion, Ket is actually outside of the mansion. He's sitting there with some baby rocks, trying to feed them bone broth. Come on, man! I saw this on TV. Man, no, he's just chilling with Amethyst. He's just like, yeah, he's not really doing much of anything.
Just
like,
letting the time pass.
Yeah, pretty much. He's actually trying on different outfits of his own that he has, in his repertoire. So he's just trying to make himself look fancy for tonight.
Remember that nothing the mansion creates can come out of the mansion.
No, I know. He's just he's sort of getting he knows what he has on his person. Like, he has clothes on his person as well. Mm-hmm. So he's just messing around.
Yeah, you have a set of fine clothes in your inventory or something?
Yeah, he's going through a dressing montage right now.
Okay, cool. Yeah. Just as this is a total tangent, and I apologize to anyone for whom this breaks the immersion, but I have another game of Fate of Cthulhu that I run, and I decided to give them a beach episode complete with a fashion montage set to all over the world from Xanadu. It was pretty good. And Prince Justin plays in that game, so in the chat he is commenting, yes, I did. So that happened. He can confirm it. So in any event, though, you are what is your fancy outfit that you select look like?
Well, my fancy outfit is basically the only really fancy outfit that I have is basically what you see in the avatar for Ket.
Okay.
Is that purple outfit? That's pretty much what he's going to be wearing tonight.
Sure. All right.
Yeah.
Cool. I think probably. I'm just trying. I don't want to speak for Viv, but I think Amethyst is probably gonna maybe she'll redo her braid, but that's about the amount, the extent of the effort that she'll put into it. In fact, actually, I think that she might confide in you, Ket, that she doesn't want, maybe while you all go to the gala, someone should stay behind and watch out for the mansion and, take care of Arwen and.
Yeah, okay, man. Yeah, okay, I get it. You're nervous. Mm-hmm. It's okay. You don't trust the Feywild and the fancy galas. That's okay. Amethyst. You stay back and, if anything happens, we'll get the message to you somehow. Mm-hmm. Okay.
All right. So at this point, I think everyone else returns. After you finished with the fitter, Denobrium showed up again, now all in reds and oranges, and just as he looked at all of you and seeing you with your outfits, he just looks at all of them in just wonder and just, they're so lovely. Oh, I'm so jealous of all of you. You're going to look wonderful.
I know.
Well, you're not there. This is Denobrium with the. Sorry.
I still know.
Somewhere,
yes.
Ket knows.
Back in the mansion, Ket's like, yeah.
Oh, my
Yeah.
ears are burning. Yes.
Someone's talking about looking good, and I know who they mean. Um,
That's a total cat thing right
Oh,
there.
it is.
but in any event, is willing to guide you back. But briefly, he looks up and just he turns back to the pixie and says, "Could you?" And the pixie says, "Oh, of course." And she snaps her fingers, and all of you holding your sort of hanger with the outfits, the clothes just sort of roll up on them like one of those old window screens, just, and they sort of disappear until you have what seems like an empty hanger. And she just says, "Don't worry, they'll come back when you want them. Just easier to carry that way."
It's very convenient. Thank you.
The deer is eating a patch of moss over across the clearing.
Scratching his back with the empty hanger now.
And so, as you are making your way back towards where you've been staying, the Denobrium just turns to you and says, "So, are you all excited about the gala?"
Of course.
Of course. Why wouldn't we be?
What should we expect?
Well, it's going to be. I can't imagine, and I don't mean to judge where you come from. I'm sure it has many lovely things, but a royal gala here in the Feywild is. All of the most important people will be there, looking their best. The food is marvelous. The
Will there be
company,
dancing?
Well, yes, of course.
All right, then.
So Nira looks mildly panicked, but it's keeping it cool.
So it's a wonderful thing. I am permitted only to work the gala, but even then, it is a wonderful privilege just to be in that company.
But there'll be music.
Yes.
Good. All right.
And as he's kind of dropping you back off at the mansion door, he just says, "It will be ready when you are."
Right, that time thing again. I'm sure we won't be too long. I don't know how long it takes.
Okay.
Take my stuff and go in.
So are you concerned about being what's the word? Late? Is that what you're asking?
Well, it would seem to be rude if we were late. I guess.
Oh, well, allow me to ease your worries then. You are the guests of honor. The gala does not start until you arrive.
Oh. Well, that's a lot more pressure. All right. Well, I better make sure this thing fits then.
It will. But, yes, of course. And so he kind of stands back and just says, let me know if I can get you anything.
Hey, I got a question for you. Are there other beings out here besides the queen and her people?
When you say out here, what do you mean?
I mean, here, in this place.
This house?
No, I mean, everywhere. I mean, somebody woke me, and I don't know who they are, and I don't know if that's half a dream or if it's someone I should be afraid of.
Well, let me start by answering your general question, which is, are there other people here in the Feywild? And the answer is yes. But do you have a question about a specific one? It sounds like you do.
There was this old woman. I'd never seen her before. She was tall and looked scary. She was trying to take my boots. I'm not sure if that's relevant, but...
Did you leave them outside?
I didn't leave them. I mean, I was still wearing them.
No judgment here. I'm just trying to seek information, so as I can better answer your question.
So outside of what?
Well, I'm going to take that as a yes. I suspect you had a run-in with Grandmother Praxis.
Grandmother? She's your grandmother?
Not my grandmother,
Why'd you call her grandmother then?
because she's Grandmother Praxis.
Maybe I don't understand the word like I thought I did, but okay. Who is she?
I know you're going to be unsatisfied when I answer by saying that she's Grandmother Praxis.
Right. But is she part of the Queen's court?
To the extent that she offers her loyalty to one court or another, she tends more towards the Twilight Court side, but we don't hold that against her, largely because she would curse us if we did.
So she's powerful then.
Oh, yes.
And why would she go after my boots?
You did leave them outside.
I didn't leave them. I was still wearing them. I don't consider these left if I'm still wearing them. But I was outside.
Well, yes. So, lesson learned, perhaps?
I don't know what lesson, but she said something, and I'm just trying to figure out if it was important or if it was just somebody who was crazy, or if it's something, or if it's just a weird question, I guess.
Well, given that I don't know for certain it was Grandmother Praxis, what I will say is that if it was her, it was important.
Okay. All right.
Don't tell me what she said.
You don't want to know?
I do not want to know. I will be, I am, of course, here to serve you, as directed by Her Radiant Grace, Queen Solomonia, but it would be my preference, to the extent that that matters in your decision-making process, that you not tell me.
So I could order you to listen, but that would be kind of mean.
Yes.
All right. Well, I won't do that. I want to thank you.
Of course.
I suppose I've got to see if this thing fits. All right. Thank you. And he goes inside.
All right. All four of you are muted right now.
So first he takes off his doublet, and then...
Well, I think I would have pulled Kate and say, "Come on, let's go get ready. You can help me do my hair or something."
Yeah.
As soon as I get inside, it's, "Cat, show yourself." Where's that damn cat?
Are you in the fancy outfit, Ket? Or no?
Oh, I'm half dressed. Ket comes down wearing
right.
his wearing nothing but a shirt. Yeah, man, what's up?
Why are you half? What are you doing?
I'm trying on my fancy clothes, man. Hey, man, what's that? And I just kind of look at the clothes you're wearing.
I think
I'm
we
still
would.
wearing the regular clothes,
Or
actually.
you're this. Sorry, the clothes you're holding.
Yeah,
Yeah. Well, right now it's all wrapped up on the hanger. It looks just
Yeah.
like an empty clothes hanger.
Yeah.
But
what's
I
up,
want to
man?
just briefly say, coming down without the shirt, I want to just describe that in the PG-13 movie of this, this would be a reverse shot of Ket, just from like the chest up where he seems to be dressed, and then back to Alaric's face in another close-up looking down, and then a two shot of the both of them where we see Ket from behind with the bare butt and the tail.
You see the tail just kind of
Yeah.
swishing in the air.
Yeah.
My tail swishing in the breeze.
Yeah.
I kind of imagine that cat asking him about the outfit. There's a shot from behind Alaric as he holds up the hanger, and it flips down,
Yeah.
covering the bottom half of Ket quickly.
Yeah, totally Austin Powers the whole thing.
Yeah, baby.
Couldn't you wear something?
Dude, man, I'm covered in fur. Calm down. It's okay.
Well,
Everywhere.
I'm a very hairy individual.
starting to lose the PG rating here. Let's be careful.
Anyway, okay. So how'd it go, man? Let's go upstairs. Let me put some pants on. Let's go.
Yeah, please.
All right, man. You go first.
Yeah, gladly.
We go
I don't
upstairs
know.
to my room.
You don't
I
even
have to
feel a
laugh
breeze, do you?
Like, Tabaxi actually don't wear clothes. We normally just wear our armor.
Yeah, I know.
Like, and that's it. So
Yeah.
it's kind of hilarious.
You're friggin' Donald ducking it right now. Is what you're
That's
doing.
right. Yeah, totally. Hey, man, if it's good enough for... Anyway. Okay, let's go upstairs. And we go upstairs to my room, and I put on pants.
Mm-hmm.
And,
I turn around and wait for him to... Are you ready? Is it done?
Yeah, man. Okay, I'm decent.
Well, that's debatable, but
Okay. So, man, how did it go? What's up, man?
it
Did you
went
get some...
badly. But I'm hoping to fix something.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if this will work, and I do kind of float out the clothing. I think this is what I meant. It's what had happened anyway. I am. You are always better with the words. And I think I need your help for that.
Oh my God, man! Are we gonna pull like a? Are we gonna pull like a Cyrano de Bergerac? Yeah, man.
If the nose fits.
Oh my God, man! Okay, man, I'll be Steve Martin.
Oh, that version. Oh dear.
We're gonna do the Roxanne version.
Mm.
Anyway, yeah, man. Is that what you want me to? Do you want me to like send you like messages and stuff of what to say?
I think I could use the help.
Oh my God, man, Alaric! I mean, I'm like so touched that you would, ask for my help in that way. No,
Don't get too big ahead about this. There's a limited number of people I can ask.
Yeah, no, absolutely, man. No, I got your back, man. I want to see you succeed.
Yeah.
I mean, what happened when you told her?
It wasn't. She ran away.
Oh, that's natural, man. That's okay.
What do you mean natural?
Well, I mean, look at Nira, man. She's like Nira. She's like, Nira. And you come out and say like, Nira, I love you. She's like,
Near
what?
Kina.
And she's like panicking and
It's
come
near
on.
Kina, actually.
Yeah,
Not just Nira.
okay, man. It's calm
It's
down.
more than that.
I know, but I mean, she's not used to hearing that. I would assume. I don't imagine she gets a lot of people saying, "Hey, I love you."
Yeah, well, maybe.
I
Maybe
mean,
she gets it.
she like appears to be on the outside, the tough, gruff, Nira, Kina. And you come along and like express your love for her. I mean, yeah, that's gonna like spook. It's gonna like just panic mode right there, man. Come on.
I mean, you told me to do it.
I know, and you did, and I'm so proud of you. I'm very proud of you, Alaric. You did it, and
Yeah. Maybe it was the wrong thing, though.
No, it
Maybe I
wasn't.
shouldn't
No,
have.
trust me. Look, when she sees you in that outfit, whoa, mixed with my words, let me tell you, man, we're gonna have to fade to black.
We're gonna pass out.
Exactly. We're gonna pass out from love.
So on that exchange, let's jump up to Nira, Kina, and Cadence.
I gotta go get a drink.
I didn't really have anything in mind. Just,
I don't know what to do with your hair. I don't have hair. I don't do hair things. I'm sorry. I can't help you.
the same. There might be some kind of fireplace or something in here where I would have warmed a sort of curling wand type of thing, and I will have done the front. It's like you just do like this towards the back, and show her.
All right. Try not to burn you.
Well, just be careful because I do have a tendency to shock people if I'm startled.
I'm
Well,
imagining briefly that you're thinking back on your magical studies all the way back in at Mount Rushama, and realizing that you at once had a chance to learn prestidigitation instead of thaumaturgy. Actually, I think cleric, you just maybe you're just feeling an echo of jealousy for the folks who learned prestidigitation, and it was just all about like poof.
Yeah, this is a lot of work.
Mechanically, I think clerics can't actually take prestidigitation, but that's all right. Anyway,
I met this woman who used to say to me, like, it hurts to be beautiful, and I guess it's true. I don't know. How are you doing? Did you talk to Alaric?
When would I have talked to Alaric?
I don't know. I was asleep for like 3 hours.
Well, I mean, I had to finish resting too. When would I would not have? I don't know, Cadence. It's so weird. It's all weird.
Yeah, it is weird, but you can't leave it like that. You know that. You just can't. You can't leave it.
Now he's all acting like he's acting. It's really weird.
He's always weird.
Not like this though. Like, I mean, yeah, he can be awkward, but not like how he is right now, where he's like, I just want him to be himself, not whatever it is he's trying to do.
Then tell him that. You're the only one he'll listen to. Like, if I went to him and was like, no, just be yourself, he wouldn't listen.
I don't know, I think the only weirder thing that he could possibly do is... No, even that would probably not be the weirdest thing. But I don't know. If he starts throwing love poetry at me, Cadence, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I'm just... I can't. I don't... I just need time to think about all of this, and it's just... so much. And so weird.
Yeah. Life is weird. It doesn't get any unweirder, just so you know.
Mm-mm. Meow.
But
Anyway.
you do have to talk to him.
But I don't want to.
Well, I mean, we could go on like we are, but it's going to get really even weirder if you don't talk about it. Like the big elephant in the middle of the room. Just imagine what that's going to do to everybody else.
Well, I'm a little bit too wrapped up in figuring out how I feel about it. No offense, but I don't so much care how everybody else feels about it when I don't even know how I feel about it. Nobody else needs to feel anything else about it.
I'm just saying, like, long term. Like, if this keeps going on, eventually it's going to affect everybody. I mean, we have all the time in the world, but we're going back to the dragon now, whether we want to or not.
How's that curl coming?
Make a let's see. Make a
Animal handling.
yeah, well, see, the thing is, like, dexterity would certainly be a good skill, but I think that's not really the appropriate one because it's more about knowing the right technique than just being able to
Sleight of
perform a
hand?
sleight of hand. See,
Sleight of hand? Okay, 20, not natural.
well, what I fair. That's fair. All right, so it's pretty good.
I mean, if it was a dex, it would have been 26. But
You know what? I'm retroactively deciding you have to roll with disadvantage because it's because you don't have hair. You don't know how that works.
yeah, that's fine. That's an 11.
Okay, it's okay. Yeah, it's
It looks really good.
it's fine. It's fine.
It's not burning or
The
anything.
important thing is to not be self-conscious about it.
Oh boy. So she's gonna leave the front curled and kind of gather the back and sort of wind it up into this bun thing and say, "Help me pin this into place."
Okay. Why you have so much hair?
Okay.
So, you guys are at your discretion. You tell me when you're ready for the gala to happen.
I think I'm ready. This let's move
We can
along.
probably assume a montage at this point, and
So we have the montage then of everybody kind of poking around. Some brief conversations that we don't hear because the music's playing over it, and then we have all of you gathering together in the common room, preparing to step out and go to the gala. Amethyst has decided to stay behind. Probably you're about ready that you would need to uncast the mansion anyway, Ket.
Yeah, probably. I mean,
So
it just,
maybe that kind of forces the issue a little bit. You realize
yeah,
that you're
I mean,
also,
it goes away. Yeah.
you have to finish getting ready, or else you're going to get booted out in whatever state you're in.
Mhm.
I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
Can I cast guiding bolt on myself without doing damage?
Just to get that glitter.
Shining bolt.
Yes.
Shiny bolt. Don't you have
Wait,
prestidigitation?
does that mean that whoever hits on you next has advantage?
Yes, it does. So the answer is yes, you can do that, and also yes, it means that whoever is going to hit on you has advantage. So I would say,
Inwalks Archie.
if what you want is to achieve a glittery effect on yourself, yes, you can absolutely do that. You guys are level 17. You can make yourself glittery.
I only want to do it so that I could make a grand entrance in the gala. So because it doesn't last for forever. So
Sure.
Yeah.
All right. So you guys are all sort of gathered, ready to exit the mansion then?
Yeah, just a little word of warning, guys. Let's just, be on guard. We're walking into something that we don't know. So, I mean, I know it's supposed to be a fancy party, but you never know.
I'm already taking my weapons, man.
Well, I know. I'm saying, don't get drunk. Alaric.
A dwarf does not get drunk.
Come on, Alaric.
an
Don't
elf
get drunk.
might.
I know.
I've seen you get drunk on chicken, man. I don't even want to think about what happened if there
Not
was
the
alcohol.
same. They won't serve chicken, will they?
I don't know, man. That was a special boozy chicken recipe I had, so don't worry about it. But anyway, let's just be on guard, okay?
Do we still have a bag that I can put the axe in? I don't really want to carry
I
it.
mean, you guys have a pair
I
of
have the
bags
bag of
holding.
holding.
Yeah, I'll take a bag.
Well, I was just going to say, though, it is a valid question just to say, in your fancy outfits, are you bringing your weapons? Because,
I'm not.
you're going to, if you're in your fancy outfits or whatever, you are unequipping whatever your armor is.
Yeah. I bought a long time ago in I've forgotten the name of the city, but it was the leatherworker. I bought a belt specifically to hold knives carefully.
Yeah, that was Ushbithra before it
Yeah.
was stomped.
Yeah, from Lash, was it, or was the other one?
Oh, gosh, I'd have to look at my notes.
But I
I
still
could.
have that, and I would wear that kind of underneath the jacket in a hidden way, so I can still keep the daggers there. But that's
Mhm.
not prominent.
So I would keep my holy symbol of Rushama, the ring of spell turning, wand of the war mage, I think, and then
Do you
I
have
think it's
a
still
little clutch bag to put your wand in?
sure, yes.
Really does need to be a clutch bag of holding. I will change the cloak of many fashions, though. It can duplicate the appearance of other magical cloaks, so I will have it appear to be a cloak of storm, which I just made up, but it basically looks like a storm.
Nice.
It billows too.
You ordered the leather worker from Ushbithra was named Scritcher.
Ah, right.
Yeah. So in any event, all of you think about what you have with you. You don't have to necessarily list it for me. Just make sure you're being, honest to the fiction, so to speak, of how
I
you want to look.
I don't have anything really. I'm leaving my rapier behind.
All right.
Just
Where are
'cause
you leaving it though?
well, I'm recasting the mansion, so Amethyst has a place to hang out.
Oh, okay. Then if you're
Yeah.
recasting the mansion, then I will leave my bow
Okay.
and my armor in the mansion.
Yeah,
Leave the actual bird.
I took off my armor, and my armor class went from 17 down to 14, just so everyone knows.
Oh my god! I hope we
Yeah.
don't die.
Yeah.
I'm still worse than you. Relax.
Yeah, I'm at like 14.
Yeah.
Still worse than you. Relax.
So
Yeah.
anyway,
I think Archie probably suffers the biggest loss there because he wears plate armor.
yeah.
Yeah.
So let me cast that. I'm going to recast the mansion.
Well,
you
so
can
what
see
happens though as you guys exit the mansion is that you open the door and walk out, and you realize suddenly that you did not exit in the same sort of plant-grown mansion that you were in before. You realize as you walk out, and your eyes are briefly dazzled, and then you look around and you realize that you have just exited that doorway into an incredible grand ballroom with gleaming marble floors, huge cathedral ceilings that have apparently like their own weather patterns. They're that big. There seem to be little flying creatures flying around up above, and you are surrounded completely by a gathering of all sorts of beings dressed up in fancy gala wear, and they burst into applause at your appearance. Yay!
Thank you, everybody. It's so nice to see you. Amethyst, you're not dressed for the party. Thank you.
I think she turns to you and says, "Recast it. Recast the mesh. Recast it."
Recast the mansion.
And then you get a few of the attendees going, "Ooh, clap." Ah. So you can go ahead and put restash whatever you wanted to in there.
Yep.
All right.
Alark looks like he wants to just go inside. Close the door behind him, but
Man, this is awesome, man. I haven't had this reception since that time that I went down to Flavanor.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, man. Remember that place?
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
An enormous walking tree hears it, says, "You've been to Flavanor."
Oh, man. Yeah, man. You know it?
Why, I haven't been to Flavanor since I was an acorn.
Oh, man. Yeah. I'll have to get you. We'll have to swap some stories later, man. What's your name, friend?
Oh, well, my name is Oakman.
Ah, Oakman. Pleased to meet you. I am Ket of the Sands.
Sands, eh?
Yeah.
Something you come from a desert.
I do. I come from the desert. The one and only desert. You know the one I'm talking about.
He's kind of squinting at you like,
Emirate Arboris.
oh, yes, quite. Yeah, you'll have to forgive me. When I've heard those tales, I tended to focus more on the tree part and less on the not tree pot. Ha ha. So in the meantime, you realize as you sort of leave behind the doorway, Ket, you instinctively know the spell is still active, but the doorway does seem to fade, and it's like you kind of know instinctively if you were to reapproach it, it would appear again, but it's not present for
Right.
anyone else, so to speak.
Okay.
So it's not just standing there in the middle of the ballroom, but you could return to it if you wanted.
Okay.
Yeah, so you realize as you are, now that the grand entrance has been accomplished, there's certainly the crowd that had made this wide circle around where you appeared is kind of filling back in, and there's lots of mingling going on, and you do hear music in the distance, and it's lovely. It's sort of just it's one of those songs where at first listen you think this is just a happy fun song, but then you kind of realize that there's some somber notes in it too. Like it's about happiness in the face of sorrow, and it's really layered. But everyone else just seems to be having a party. There's lots of great outfits. There are all manner of different races and species here. There are centaurs. There are fairies. There are little weird gnomes running around with like the red hats. And there's animal people and weird things that just look like abstract spirits. There are ghosts and giants and all sorts of different creatures just walking around this place, all dressed to the 11s.
Wow.
Wow.
Is there beer?
You say that, and immediately over your shoulder, you hear, "Of course there's beer." You turn around, and it's Denobrium standing there back in winter mode.
Okay. And he's
Want
going
some
to kind of
beer?
make a nervous beeline for wherever there might be beer.
Follow me. And he leads you over to a big banquet table where you can see that there is going to be like a laid out fancy dinner here, and he just kind of says, if you want to sit and eat, you can do that here, or we could just bring you a drink to carry around. I don't know what you want.
I don't think I'm going to be sitting just yet, Stein.
All right. And he just turns around, and it's like there was something just behind him that wasn't there, but like he turns around and then comes back around, and he's just got a platter with a gleaming crystal stein full of a delicious looking amber beer.
It's a little fancy, but tips it back.
It's
No
very
hesitation
good.
whatsoever. Philip empties it at that point.
Yeah, it's very good. So, what are the rest of you doing while Alaric has just disappeared off like that?
Kind of tapped Denobrium on the shoulder as I just, whatever you have, that's just something strong, please.
I just have to, just realized I have a different ambiance to change this to.
I'm just mingling with the guests and telling jokes.
All right.
I find a guest. I don't know. We'll say some disembodied spirit, and I'm just like, knock knock.
Oh, who's there?
A door.
A door.
A door is between you and me, so please open up. And I cast minor illusion, and I cast a door in between us.
Oh!
Ha! Ba-dum-bum!
I would clap for you, but I'm ethereal.
It's okay, man. You're okay in my book, man.
What you find that as soon as you are interested in it, Nira, there is an attendant ready to hand you a drink.
Take it, tip it back.
All right.
Just keep them coming.
It's pretty good.
Yep.
Man, I tell you guys not to get drunk.
You can't tell Nira nothing.
That's right. Clearly.
A dwarf does not get drunk. A dwarf tries really hard.
I think you look over and you see that Otterkey has been cornered by what looks like an enormous lobster person with a monocle, and sitting on their head is what looks like a like a little baby harbor seal, but like as a humanoid, like with arms and legs.
Like a
Sitting
hat?
up, yeah, and sitting on his head is wearing galoshes, and he's holding a bucket, and every so often he uses a ladle and pours water on the head of the lobster guy.
That's awesome.
But he has apparently cornered Otterkey in some sort of a conversation about military tactics, and he's definitely got him like trapped.
I will go over and I will rescue Archie.
Okay, so you head on over there, and as you approach, the lobster person is just saying, "Well, it seems to me that when you are encroaching on a number with superior numbers, you want to engage in what we sometimes call a pincer maneuver. You see." So that's what he's saying as you approach.
I'm so sorry to interrupt. Archie, we're needed over this direction. I'm so sorry to interrupt. I need to borrow him.
Oh, well, perhaps I could accompany you, my lady. Such a prestigious guest of the Queen. I would love to offer you a dance, perhaps.
Well, you know what?
The little harbor seal pours more water on his head.
You know what? That sounds great.
So offers you an enormous pincer arm to like take his arm.
Sure, we'll do this.
All right. So make a. I want you to make a 3 dexterity saving throws for me.
This is awesome.
Let's see. That is a 17.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. So you manage to avoid having your feet stepped on by weird lobster man legs.
And that one was a 10.
You do not quite manage to intercept his pincer before it gives you a little bit of a pinch on the butt. Gentle. It doesn't hurt, but you notice it.
And then a 14.
And then the 14, you manage to do a fancy little spin dance move that has his little eye stalks kind of going for a second. But it just says, my word. I haven't danced like this in ages. Thank you, my dear. And
It's my pleasure.
He goes to do a really deep bow, and it's so deep that the little seal kid falls off of his head and then scrambles around to climb back up his back. I am Sir Pinchoff.
Is that from the Bronson Pinchoffs?
Oh, do you know my family?
Well, it was a most thrilling and very unique dance. You're very light on your feet.
Oh, well, I'm not as young as I used to be, but I try to keep in shape, Got to be battle ready at any moment. And he does kind of a fancy little, you know how those crabs with the giant pincer do those weird little boxing moves when they spar with each other? Kind of does that.
I was just thinking, my friend Alaric has just been really into battles lately, and he might have some excellent questions for you.
Oh, really?
Really?
Well, point the way, my dear. I would love to bend his ear.
I will look for Alaric.
He looks away as she looks over, not trying to look too enthusiastic.
And point this my companion here in Alaric's direction. He is right over there. You see him in the lovely blue and gray number.
So, as he scuttles over in Alaric's direction, Cadence, you have been approached by a rainbow Pegasus unicorn.
Oh my god. This is like the best
Uh,
day ever.
Yeah. So the mane and the tail, all the colors, and the horn is just gleaming, enormous wings with the colorful feathers, and just the most pure creature you could possibly imagine has just come up and said, "My lady Cadence of the Water, I have heard so much about your thrilling adventures, and I am honored to make your acquaintance." And does a little, manages a curtsy with the wings.
I thank you. I I don't even know what to say. This is very strange for me.
Oh. Well, perhaps what you need at a gala of this sort is an escort from a friendly face.
Of course, sure.
My name is Spectral Epiphany.
It's nice to meet you.
Well, it is a privilege to meet you as well. Have you spoken with the Queen yet since your arrival?
No, I have not. I was actually looking for him.
Oh, well, I am sure I could show you the way. There is an announcement to be made later, at the formal dinner, of course. But if you wish to speak with her before, I could show you where she and her family stay.
That would be great, thank you.
Of course. You can follow me, or you may ride if you like.
Really?
Of course.
That's what. Okay.
It would be my honor.
Thank you so much. This is like a dream come true for me ever since I was a little kitten.
And you can see that her eyes are getting a little bit teary as she nods. It's just like, yes, I understand.
I get right on that Pegasus and I ride it.
Meta.
Hold on, Cadence. Let's go. And she flaps the wings and then she soars off across the party with Cadence on her back.
Totally breaking character right here, just to say, man, Jenny's gonna be talking about this for days. You just made her whole D&D experience. It's awesome. It's like, I rode on a Pegasus and a unicorn.
So I think, Ket, you have been. So what's your approach in the room here? How are you handling this? Are you just trying to hold court, build a little audience to discourse with, or what are you doing?
Well, I'm just kind of making my way around the room. Ket's just kind of making his way around the room and just, mingling with the guests, inserting himself in conversations. He has no idea what anybody's talking about, but he just comes in anyway and just, oh, yes, telling knock-knock jokes.
Okay.
Just kind of mingling.
Sure. You find a it's a very tall, thin, but not gangly figure with sort of vaguely elfin features. There, in some ways, you could see a little bit of a resemblance with the type of being that the Queen is.
Mm.
You suspect this may be an archfey who is dressed in I don't know how to describe the fashion style either, but sort of like the French style with the elaborate feathered hat and the ruffles and everything, and the curls in the hair, but everything in colors of white and blue, and the skin is very pale. And as you kind of come a bit near, you feel that there's literally just an aura of cold around them. And they are standing kind of by themselves, not talking to anyone for the moment. And they're holding what looks like an hors d'oeuvre, like some unidentifiable substance on a cracker. And they look like they've been staring at it for some time without taking a bite.
So, come here often?
There's, like no movement for a moment, and then just kind of lowers the cracker almost with a sense of relief, like, and turns over to you and just says, I feel it is my obligation to attend events of this type, but I find no joy in them.
Yeah. I know what you mean. I'm in pretty high demand too. People always asking me to come to their parties and everything, just to, make an appearance. And yeah, I know what you mean. They're just, you've been to one party, you've been to them all. I know what it's like. The food's all the same. I mean, look at that thing you're holding. I mean, it doesn't look very appetizing at all, does it?
I think to you, Ket, you're saying that, but as you kind of stare at it, you realize it actually does look pretty good. Now, you don't have to say that, but I'm just saying, inside, it looks like it would be pretty good. You would eat one if you were under normal circumstances. It would say,
Right.
"Oh, what's that?"
Yeah.
But he just kind of looks at it sort of forlornly and just says, "Galas like this, I look around at all the other people here, having a good time, enjoying themselves, and I just know that it is only the calm before the storm of despair that will eventually wash over everyone. I don't know how they don't see it."
Yes. Inevitably, everything dies, doesn't it?
Well, if only.
Knock, knock.
Who is there?
Ice cream soda.
Ice cream soda. Who?
I scream so the people can hear me!
If you'll excuse me. And he turns and walks away.
Have a good night, sir.
So, Alaric, have you tried to evade the advances of Pinchoff, the lobsterman?
Probably a lot of his answers are kind of curt, short, and distracted as he's kind of looking over to figure out where the heck the Arkina has gone, and also trying to see where Ket is actually as well.
Okay, so Nero, after you sort of pawned off Pinchoff on Alaric, what did you try to sort of disappear into the crowd, or?
Yes. Kind of looking for the next person to talk to me who isn't Alaric.
Okay. What you actually find yourself, you realize you have come near a whole little delegation of what appear to be like bee people. Like they're humanoid sized. They have humanoid sort of vague shapes, but in an insectile sort of way, and bee-like coloring with the yellow and black and big gossamer wings. They're clearly bee people. I think you get it, right? So what you find is there's a whole little delegation of them. There are clearly what would appear to be, like vassals, like they're the sort of workers that are attendants, right? And then there is, of course, two stern soldier-looking types with spears, and then there is on a sort of fainting couch sort of piece of furniture, there is what appears to be a very large queen of, you get it, you get it. It's a queen bee person. And holding in one of the middle arms on one side is a little like the pupa stage, like baby bee person, who is very sort of round and waddly, and it's like a pupa person. So it's clearly like vaguely humanoid, but sort of also like babies are kind of all just round and squishy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And so, yes, you have found yourself kind of approaching their company without really realizing it, but to the point where once you have noticed it, they have all noticed you have approaching them.
Hmm.
And the queen just looks to you and just says, I admire your skill in getting rid of that horrible man.
Well, I thank you for the compliment, Your Majesty.
So, you are here at Solomonia's behest. I suspect she has work for you.
You would be correct.
Well, good luck with that. And then she takes a sip from a glass, and it looks like, now that you see it, that it's like a martini glass, but it's filled with just like what, like yellow powdery stuff that she's like licking.
Could I inquire what is it you're partaking of?
It's Polentini.
That sounds lovely.
Well, feel free to order one if you like. I
What
wouldn't
type
stop
of
you.
what type of flowers?
Well, she proceeds to list a variety of different. She's just going to rattle off a whole list of flowers. In fact, it's going on so long that we're going to cut back over to Alaric. So Alaric, yeah. So the pinch off is definitely, not taking any hints about ending the conversation. In fact, at one point, you see a servant coming around with a plate of, platter of like champagne flutes, with bubbling wine, sparkling wine in them, and you kind of hope that that's like a time to make a break for it. But rather dexterously, he reaches out and seizes one of the flutes in one of those enormous claws, brings it over, but instead of drinking, he just like takes a bite of the top of the flute, just like, and then continues just going on and on about how, you see, when you're having an underwater battle, you have to account for all three dimensions. And of course, when you're coming from above, there's more light. Down below, there's less.
Yeah, I know. I died there once. I learned my lesson. I'm going to cast Prestidigitation to make the sound of a ringing bell right behind him. What's that?
Huh? What?
I'm going to try to stealth away.
All right. Go ahead and make a stealth check.
Yeah, get my rolls in. 31.
All right. There. Yeah, I think you disappear into the crowd.
Was either that or I was going to use my action to disengage.
Okay. I was suddenly just envisioning, with the undersea metaphors, just like ink cloud.
If I had a smoke bomb with me, I would have used it. I suppose I could do it.
So, Cadence, you find that Spectral Epiphany has carried you across a frankly insanely sized ballroom. Like that, it makes no physical sense how big this place is. Like it's a bit like when you guys were traveling to that forest where somehow it just really doesn't make any sense that you're flying this far within a single space, and yet it seems that you are. And you realize you're just soaring over this crowd, and there are other beings that fly around too, and you're occasionally ducking around them. But clearly, Spectral Epiphany is having a great time with you two, doing various aerial maneuvers. So let's go ahead and get a couple of dexterity saving throws from you two.
Okay. 17.
Yeah. You manage to hold on through a barrel roll maneuver.
28.
28. She senses that you are ready for it, and she soars directly up does a neat little flip where the two of you are both spiraling down around each other, falling towards the air, and then at the last moment she swoops back up, catching you, and you soar up again. And it's a very neat stunt, and everybody below goes, "Ooh, ah!"
I'm like screaming with laughter and excitement. This is the greatest day of my entire life.
So she eventually, you realize that the conversation, like the mood of it has gotten a little bit more mellow as you've made your way in this direction, and Spectral Epiphany eventually kind of lands and just says, without a specific invitation, I would not proceed further personally, but I'm sure as this is a gala in your honor that you would be welcome to approach. There are various conversation pits. I'm sure she's in one of them.
Okay. Thank you very much.
And yes, although this particular term wouldn't make any sense to Cadence, there are a variety of 60s and 70s style, like conversation pits where just there are people sort of, in these slightly lowered areas, lounging around and having conversations. And in fact, in the first one you come across, you hear a familiar voice, and you look and you see that the Lord of the Hunt is there, telling some sort of a hunting story to a bunch of other beings that seem to be hanging on his every word. And as he looks up and he just sees you and says, "Ah! If it isn't the ones who got away."
Well, it is also the other one who got away because we let him go.
Yep.
So good to see you again.
He nods around at the rest and says, "That was not my finest hour. Someday, though."
Maybe. We'll see.
So, Kat, you are finding yourself, you're kind of moved away from the sullen ice prince, and you realize that you are right where there is suddenly a flurry of activity. There's a door. You're near the wall there, and there's a door, and all of a sudden some servants step out with big horns and blow like announcement trumpets.
Oh, man!
And everyone around is, in this vicinity immediately is paying attention, and they just look, and a servant announces and says, "Beings, guests of the Queen, I have the great honor to announce that for the first time in ages, the Beetle delegation has chosen to attend." And they open the doors, these enormous double doors. And at first it looks like there's no one there, but then you look down and there's a whole parade of little beetles, like bug-sized beetles. None of them any bigger than maybe 2 inches or so. But there's like 100 of them in a whole little chain of 2 by 2. And they start marching into the ballroom, and then they start gathering around in a little circle around one that is wearing a tiny little crown, and that one stands up on the 2 little hind legs and starts going, and it's clearly giving a speech of some kind, but
When it's done, I start clapping.
I'm sure Amethyst understands.
and in fact, all of the others around are absolutely doing that as well. They're applauding and just like, you see one Eladrin wiping away tears, and then the beetles start turning around and doing their same little train back out the door.
Frankly, I've never understood this sound of the Beatles. I don't get it. But they seem like they have a good show.
So Nira, the bee queen, has just said, "And honeysuckle."
Oh, that's one of my favorites.
Well, it doesn't really have honey after all. It's just, it's kind of a joke.
Yes, but it smells lovely.
Yes. So, I can't imagine you're here to talk about flowers.
No, I was recently having a conversation with some of my friends about honey, actually.
Oh, do tell.
Well, it's quite a fascinating process for making it, as much as I can understand it.
I
Of
can't
course.
reveal any trade secrets, you know.
Oh no, I would never ask you to. Of course not. But we were, there's just nothing better than really high quality honey, and not the cheap stuff made that find in the markets, but the real good quality honey. Um, with a nice warm tea, it does such wonders for the throat. And my friend has had a little trouble with his voice lately.
I get the feeling that this is not a small talk conversation. Tell me, dear, what are you getting at, really?
My friend has forgotten how to sing, and it was recently posed to us that
When you say that, her face falls. She is horrified by this thought. She's just like, oh my goodness. Like, you might as well have told her, like, someone, lost both their legs or something. Like, she just...
it's truly been devastating for him, and so we've been looking for ways of helping him to regain that ability. And I mean, honey just naturally came up in the conversation, and I was wondering if you had, being who you are, if you had heard of such a thing that might help.
She says, well, of course, honey is wonderful for the throat. I encourage him to try that. But you do sense a little bit of a reluctance there. You can maybe roll an insight check if you want to sense a little bit more.
Yeah, I think I do. So that is a 26.
That's pretty good. I think what you read on her face is that you seem to be talking about something that she doesn't know how you would know about it, and she's a little bit suspicious because you're kind of edging around like you're not talking about what she knows you're talking about. So you get the sense that she's being cagey because you're asking about something suspicious.
Wait, did you just say she's a KGB?
Yes, darling. This is her voice now. I wasn't doing it before, but now it is.
Yes.
I don't mean to imply anything untoward. But there was something mentioned about honey from Three Queens.
That you definitely see a reaction there, and I think she kind of looks around and then just leans down to you and just says, "Let's cut the small talk, shall we? Where did you hear about this?"
One of my friends encountered a being who gave him some advice that seemed important. And I promise you, I know nothing else about it aside from this. But it's... my friend or the person who gave him that information?
I would like to know where you heard about this honey.
Well, for that, you would have to talk to Alaric.
Bring him to me.
I
She
will
settles
do so.
back. I don't know why I was still doing like the cigarette, even though I wasn't actually still doing the Russian voice. Yeah, that's for people watching the video.
I guess I'm gonna go find Alaric. Which I am going to assume that he's not far because he's been like my shadow.
Well, yeah,
so-
I think
I'm actually looking for Cat.
Okay. All right. Well, how about this? Whichever one of you rolls the higher perception score finds the person they're looking for first.
25.
28.
Ah,
25 and 28?
28,
Okay.
yeah.
All right. Yeah, so I think that, Alara, you maybe had just spotted a ways away where you think Ket might have been over there, but at that point, Nira catches up with you.
Alaric.
oh, hi. I was just looking for Cat.
Could that wait a minute? There's someone that I need you to speak to.
What? I mean, now?
Yes, now.
I,
I'm just going to turn and walk and expect him to follow.
all right, fine. Follow after.
All right.
Admiring the angle.
So she guides you, I assume, back over to where you find this whole little clutch of bee people, and Nira, you definitely noticed like there seems to be a hushed conversation going on with them, and as you approach, the queen does sort of nod you over, to bring you back in.
Nirkina, we should probably talk.
Alaric.
Yeah?
This is Her Majesty here. We were just having a conversation about.
Nice to meet you. So,
Alaric, this is
What?
important.
I know it's important. That's what I'm trying to say.
We were having a conversation about honey, and she would like to know who it was that told you about it.
Honey? Honey. Yeah. Yeah. You're, Venus?
Yes, I get it. Where's the honey? What did you hear about the honey?
It was an old woman who tried to steal my shoes. Somebody mentioned a name, grandmother something. Grandmother Praxis, I think.
One of the soldiers literally drops his spear, and like all of the vassals just like
You probably should pick that back up.
he definitely scrambles to pick it up, but it was you don't see that sort of a shock reaction from the queen, but she does.
You know her?
Certainly. She told you about the
Well,
honey?
It was a riddle or a song or something. A whole bunch of threes. Let me look in my memory.
No, don't repeat it.
I probably can get it right.
Alaric, if she says don't repeat it here.
Why? What's wrong with it? Is it a curse?
That's not for me to say. But honey with the 3 queens?
Yeah, that was it. Something about lost songs.
Well, I cannot speak to that specifically. However, my people are known as Abels. And I am queen of my people. And when one of our people becomes a queen, they take on certain responsibilities of running one of our communities. But sometimes Rather than take on that responsibility, queens will seek out other queens that also wish to pursue other truths. And when three of them come together, they are known as Thrae. And they make, I shall just say that it is a special honey produced by three queens.
If you don't mind my asking, though, how is it special aside from how it's made?
It is said that, among other things, it allows you to see the truth in everything.
I I don't mean to be insensitive, but you seem to be bothered by the mention of that person and this. Is this a
You are guests of the Queen of the Dawn Court, and so I will deny you nothing. Further, this individual you speak of is also quite powerful, and it would do you well to follow her instructions.
do you know what her nature is? Why she would instruct me to do this, or instruct or tell me this?
I beg your pardon, but I have already said more than I should on that subject. The honey itself is a closely guarded secret that I would not have shared with any of you without the mention of that name. But now that I have, I would like to consider this matter done with.
We greatly appreciate what you've given us this evening, Your Majesty.
One more question, if you don't mind. Is it ever possible to have any of this, or a cost that can be paid for it?
People do seek it, and sometimes they find it. But any cost would need to be negotiated with the Thrae that produced it.
And to find them?
I wish you luck.
And I will take Alaric's elbow and kind of guide him away with a grateful nod to Her
I had more
Majesty.
questions. I could. There's
Stop.
lots of.
Stop.
She knows things.
I know, but we have reached the end of her goodwill.
But I mean, she could answer so many questions for us.
But she won't.
Yeah.
We already pushed her pretty far. But I saw an opportunity and I had to take it.
Yeah. That was good thinking. I didn't even think about bees.
Well, I sort of stumbled across them myself, but
Yeah. What do you think it means to see the truth of everything?
I don't know.
I mean, it doesn't sound like a simple, salve or something. It doesn't sound like it's just, spot somebody who's hiding in a barrel or something. This sounds big. Like the big truth, that the tea is large. Not the tea that you drink, although that might be
I
large
agree
too.
that kind of truth is a little frightening.
And lost songs. I mean, what does that mean? Bigger songs than what?
Well, I assumed that was referring to Ket, but it's possible that's not true.
Hey,
And
even
it
when he
could
had
just
his
be-
proper voice, it wasn't that good.
Well, I'm. It's maybe it refers. It's a. What would it be? A metaphor, maybe? Simile? I forget which one.
That's a story or a riddle or something. And why would this grandmother, why would this person? I guess they don't like the name or something. But why would this person tell me about this? What does she
Well,
want?
We are who we are, Alaric. Look where we are right now.
Yeah,
Is it really so?
look at where we are. And he's looking straight at her. Yeah. You look really nice.
Thank you.
You know,
You
I'm not much for things like this, but it's kind of nice, actually.
you clean up. You clean up pretty all right. But you
Yeah.
were all right before, so.
I want to thank the dear, the fixer. That really was. I mean, I had something in mind, but this is more than I expected. Do you? I mean, I realize I'm not quite as tall as you, but do you want to? They're playing music anyway, and it feels kind of like a shame if there aren't people, moving to the music.
Alaric, do you want to dance?
I thought you'd never ask. And he grabs her arm and somewhat awkwardly tries to figure out how to do this.
Yeah, I'm not going to put any checks on this, you guys.
I was like, do I have to roll performance?
No.
What's going on here?
No, you guys just goes how you want it to go.
Ket looks over, considers casting message to Alaric, and says to himself, he's doing just fine.
So I think at this point, though, while you're watching Ket, as you're sort of reconsidering, you realize that there is a young Eladrin woman dressed in a relatively simple gown. Like it's not plain. It's just it's like the classic black cocktail dress thing, right? It's not fancy. But what does strike you as unusual about her is that behind her head appears to be floating like a slightly spectral black diamond. And as she looks at you, she just says, "My lady, Queen Heratinus sends her greetings."
Well, how you doing?
Quite well. I am
Well,
Gentle Sway.
Ooh, gentle sway.
Yes.
I am Ket of the Sands. Tell me, gentle sway. Your queen, is she here now?
She will put in her appearance later. It is my privilege to be her vessel when she does.
Oh, well, then I assume, since you are the vessel of your queen, that a dance with you would be like a dance with your master. Would you care to dance across the floor with me?
As much as I would love that, we both know you are claimed by another.
Well, that may be so, but a dance is just a dance. Please, there is music, there is good cheer. It is just an innocent dance, my lady.
I am afraid you are claimed by another.
Okay, have it your way, Burger King.
I don't understand the reference, but
That's okay, man. I've visited many different planes of existence. It's all good. Tell your queen that I said hello, and I will see you soon.
yes, you will. Cadence, you have
That's two queens, guys. That's two queens.
you have found that Queen Solomonia has just emerged from some back room. She was not in one of the conversation pits, but as you're looking around for her, you see her make an entrance through a enormous set of double doors, and she is just as breathtaking as always. But she comes in and she walks straight to you like she was coming out to see you, and she just says, "My dear Cadence of the Water, I'm so glad that you're here."
Your Majesty. And I bow to her respectfully.
Mhm. I hope that you and your friends are enjoying yourselves.
It is a very interesting party. We've met some very interesting people. Thank you for hosting it for us.
Wonderful. You are very welcome, of course, as you are welcome here in my domain. Please, you have come here looking for me,
I have.
so then ask what you have come to ask.
How soon do you need us to do this thing that you need us to do?
Well, as you may have started to discover, when, how soon, how long, these questions matter less here than where you come from. I, of course, am quite eager to receive the gift that has been promised to me. But it is my wish that the mission to retrieve it is successful, and therefore the things necessary to ensure that are, of course, permitted.
That dragon is incredibly powerful.
Oh, yes, I would expect so. To have guarded such a treasure for so long.
It took a great deal from all of us.
Mm-hmm.
And my concern is if we manage to kill it, can you help us get back what it took?
This is a concern that was expressed by Amethyst as well. The answer is a bit more complicated than you think. But it is not no.
I don't care about for myself, but I know that Amethyst has lost a great deal. Probably far more than the rest of us.
Well, all things matter most to those who have lost them.
I feel like once you've lost something and you don't even know what it is, it doesn't matter anymore.
Has it made you a different person?
How would I know?
I will suggest to you that here in the Feywild, as a member of my court, none of that would matter.
That is not a decision that one would make lightly.
Oh, of course not. You can think on it.
Thank you, Your Majesty.
The feast will begin soon. I have preparations to make.
Of course.
And she turns into that sort of mote of sunlight and sort of drifts off into and sort of fades into invisibility. So, Alaric and Nira, how are you guys doing?
Awkwardly.
Probably. Pretty awkward. He's quite
Definitely.
light on his feet,
Yeah.
but he probably doesn't know which one of them is supposed to lead.
Yeah, I'll do it. I don't care. This is clearly not going to go anywhere if I don't. So, pretty easy to, like, look over his head, though. Like, not making eye contact, just kind of... like, this is weird.
He would purposely slip a little bit, so she ends up off balance and tipping forward a little bit, forced to look down. Sorry about that. You seem to be a long ways away.
Well, there's a lot going on.
There always is. Would you rather be a long ways away? Now? For this moment?
Well, it seems like... there's no other place I probably should be.
I like that answer. A lot.
This seems like a very odd time to even be talking about this, but I can't make you any promises, Alaric.
I suppose that's fair. We don't know what's coming to us. We don't know the future. But I know right now. And for me, that might be good enough.
I just don't want you to feel like the words you offer don't matter, because they do matter. I don't know what it will change, but it feels different now.
Different. Good.
Sometimes different is just different.
But sometimes different is good.
I think I just need some time with it. It's a lot.
Well, fortunately, as people keep reminding me of all the time we need here. Still, I hope it doesn't take too long. A dwarf only lives about 400 or 500 years. Well, young dwarves only live 400 or 500 years. There are tales of people living a lot longer than that. You know, they probably just had something they were living for.
She sort of squirms a little uncomfortably. I mean, I have a lot of life ahead of me still, I hope. I mean, I hope all of us do.
I hope so, too. I mean, we could all die tomorrow.
Really wish you would stop saying that.
I mean, it puts an emphasis on the day, rather than worrying about tomorrow too much.
Yes, but you are constantly acting like you are seeking it actively. I really wish you would stop.
It's not exactly what I intended. I just seemed like I could help.
Yes, but you're not going to help anything if you're dead. And if nothing else, I would rather you not be.
It's a start. I'll take it.
That's a very low bar.
I'm a very short guy.
Alaric, I had no idea you were funny.
I've been hanging around Cat too long.
Well,
I figure one of us has to be funny. That's something I've missed. A little genuine laughter.
It has kind of been in short supply lately, hasn't it?
Maybe this place isn't all bad. The rest of the world can wait for a little while. We can take some time. As much time as you need.
We can't stay here forever, though.
No. Not that forever probably has any meaning here, but I know what you mean. Still, we could probably take a little bit of forever with us. If we wanted to. If you wanted to.
That's a lot to think about.
And I see the song's coming to an end. It's probably ended like 2 minutes ago, but didn't really notice.
I think the songs kind of just blend right into the next.
If there's one thing you should know about dwarves, and maybe you know a lot, you know our language, you've probably read a bit about us. We take a lot from the stone. The stone gives us endurance, and it gives us patience. I don't intend to go anytime soon. I will give you your time. And he lets go of her arms, steps back, bows. Thank you for the dance. I hope it's not the last one. And he turns and walks away.
And Nero releases a very large breath. Waiter!
I think as you say that, as you turn, you realize that you see Pinchoff across the way, and as you kind of wave, he waves back and starts heading over.
No, run away!
So, but I think we're gonna call it to close for tonight at that point. But that was wonderful, everyone. James, do we have you back, or are you just off camera?
You're muted.
Or we don't see your camera anyway.
Can you hear me?
There you
Yes!
are.
Oh, there we go. Okay, yeah. When I for some reason I don't know, it says no camera found, so I'm having issues. But yeah, I'm here.
Okay, good. So we're calling it to close for tonight. But if we have anyone in the chat with some questions for our characters,
Apparently there's going to be fanfic.
That was inevitable.
You know, I'm not a professional. I do narrate things. I know that Starla does. Bring on the fanfic.
Be careful what you wish for.
Veto rights.
Yeah, especially if Nobilis is listening.
Oh, no.
My beard is a tentacle. I don't understand it.
I want the AU where all you guys just live on Earth and work in a coffee shop together.
Or we're like high school students brooding at the lunch table every day.
I want a latte. So yeah, sorry, I think they got buried a little bit. But if there were questions from the watchers, I think now would be the appropriate time to throw those out there.
Well, I don't think we have a lot right now, but that's okay. Unfortunately, I did hear from Chooch midway through that he was just unfortunately not going to be able to join. So that was sadly we'll have to find out what sort of misadventures Otterkey got up to at the gala next time, and then of course Amethyst will have some of her own stuff to deal with back in the mansion. But we'll have to find out all about those next time. And so let's go ahead and just say goodnight, everybody. We'll be back next week for more adventure on so many
So
many
many
levels.